So obviously the entire world is implementing ID age verification, unfortunately, but Mexico's way is worse than I've seen pretty much any other country in the world. Every Mexican who owns a cell phone must submit fingerprints, iris scans. Yep, they're going to be scanning your eyeballs and facial data to the government by July. This follows two previous attempts at phone registration that resulted in a data breach and Supreme Court ruling against them. Yes, that is correct. I mean, people have done fingerprint scans, facial ID scans, ID age verification scans, but eyeball scanning. They're going to be scanning your irises. And this isn't one of those things like, all the other platforms like Apple or whatever, like, hey, if you don't go ahead and do an AI facial scan, then you can't download apps on the phone. No, this one in Mexico, if I understand correctly, is literally saying you cannot have access to your phone number if you don't go ahead and do this. So the Mexican government wants you to believe that handing over your fingerprint, iris scans, and facial data is voluntary. President Claudia Sheinbaum, sorry if I said that wrong, has said so publicly, but by July 2026, every one of the country's roughly 130 million mobile phone lines must be linked to a biometric national ID, and unregistered numbers get suspended on July 1st. What the hell are we talking about here? Refuse the biometric credential and lose your phone. So they have a new biometric-based digital ID system, and it's going to be mandatory. Under the new law, CURP IDs will now incorporate detailed personal biometric records, including fingerprints, iris scans, and photographs embedded within a QR code. The government plans a phased rollout, expecting full nationwide adoption by February 2026. So I believe it's been pushed back to July, but still, I mean, it is absolutely insane over here. The CURP Biometrica upgrades Mexico's existing population registry code. I'm not even going to give this a chance to pronounce it, from an 18-character alphanumeric string into something far more personal. The updated system captures face, fingerprint, and iris biometrics, packages them with a QR code and digital signature, and produces what amounts to a mobile readable identity document tied to your body. What are we, dude, this is crazy. I mean, all the other countries, it's obviously all bad. The ID age verification, it's mass surveillance, it's invasive, but freaking scanning your eyeballs? What are we talking about? Everyone's going to get a QR code like there's some sort of discount on Amazon Prime or some shit. Everyone is going to be linked to a QR code that you can scan and find out people's information. I mean, what are we talking about here? I don't know what is going on in Mexico, but they're making the ID age verification thing. They're like, you know what? Hold my beer. We're going to make it way worse than all you guys. And again, you know what the terrifying thing is? All these countries around the world right now are getting inspiration from each other. Like, for example, Greece. Greece is banning kids under 15 from social media next year. They're joining all these other countries that are doing so. Even France's prime minister gave them props for that and was like, yeah, good job joining the fight about kids' safety. The entirety of Europe right now is trying to ban social media for kids under 15, and remember, the only way they can enforce that is ID age verification, meaning everybody, including the adults, is going to have to do it too. Mass surveillance, biometric data collection, and all these countries are getting inspiration from each other, so I'm hoping, praying that these countries don't look at Mexico and be like, wow, you know what, that's actually a good idea. Let's assign everybody to a freaking QR code, and let's go and scan their eyeballs like it's the Eye of Cthulhu or some shit. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France over here, was like, yeah, thanks for joining the movement and reacting to the news from Greece. And I quote retweeted him and I said, translation, thanks for joining the mass surveillance movement. I mean, that's what it is, isn't it? This guy over here did like a really good 2-minute breakdown of like what's going on in Mexico. So let's give this a watch. Shout out to him.
So people are fleeing to Mexico. They're fleeing to Mexico to escape government tyranny and corruption and taxation and food prices. So they're going down to Mexico. Well, mark this down, July 1st, 2026, burn it into your calendar. Because you know what Mexico is saying? Mexico is telling 130 million mobile users, register your phone or it goes dark. Now they say it's voluntary. Yeah, voluntary. Like pay your taxes or go to jail. So let's rewind back to 2008 with the Renault. The Renault in 2008, okay? They collected phone data in Mexico. What happened? Massive data leak sold on the black markets. 2022, Panout. Remember that? They tried it again, this time with biometrics, fingerprints, facial scans. And what did the Mexican Supreme Court say? Unconstitutional. Too evasive, too dangerous. It's like having a criminal record, or they're building you a criminal record for having a phone. So let's fast forward to January 9th, 2026. New law passes, right? Every SIM, prepaid, postpaid eSIM, must be tied to an identity. Now here comes the upgrade. The CURP biometrica in Mexico, the biometric. Not just your name, not just your number, your face, your iris, your 10 fingerprints, your digital signature. You don't just have an ID anymore. You become the ID. And here's the kicker. This data doesn't just sit in a vault sitting around. It actually connects to law enforcement intelligence agencies, national card database. It's a criminal record they're building on you. They don't even have to tell you when they can access it. No notification, no oversight, no transparency. And they'll tell you it's for missing persons. That's what they're saying right now. It's for missing persons. Bullshit. But history tells us a different story. Every time government says this is for your safety, it becomes about control. Run to the hills when they say that. Anonymous SIM cards? Gone. Journalists? Tracked. Activists? Flagged. Regular people? Log, tagged, and searchable in real time. That's what this whole transparency thing is for in Mexico. This is attempt number 3 now. And every time it comes back bigger, broader, more evasive. The big mothership's coming now for track you. Right? This isn't about Mexico. This is the blueprint. The digital ID we've been warning you guys about. The biometric tracking. And once it's built, it doesn't go away. You gotta watch the pattern because it starts there in Mexico. And then it's gonna start spreading everywhere. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken.
I know there are people out there right now that would watch that video and be like, oh, this guy's a nut or this guy's crazy. But honestly, I agree with him. I mean, we are at that point right now where digital ID, IDH verification, whatever you want to call it, is en route to take over the entire planet. And it slowly is before our very eyes. This can't be stated enough, but just remember how this all started, this whole global fiasco, this freaking pandemic that is going around the world right now. The UK said, hey, we should probably go ahead and make it so adult videos are not accessible to children. So what we're going to go ahead and do is do IDH verification on those websites. That's how it started. And this whole recent push for IDH verification, that is how it became mainstream and publicized. Well, guess what? Everybody was thinking, hey, this might actually be a slippery slope thing though, because if you guys want to do IDH verification for adult video websites like the Hub, maybe you guys will move on to something like Twitter or Instagram next because those websites, have some nudity as well. And that's exactly what happened. Every single social media now has some form of IDH verification. Every single country is trying to have some sort of IDH verification. And now Mexico just literally crossed the line so hard because now they're like, you know what? Everyone's going to have a QR code. You can't use your phone without IDH verification. And guess what? Your eyeballs look pretty nice. They're a nice color. Let me go ahead and scan that for you real quick. What are we talking about here? I'm baffled right now. The fact that this is actually becoming a thing. And I don't even know if mainstream media is going to be covering this, and it doesn't really seem like they are because a lot of the mainstream media outlets actually seem to agree with IDH verification. For example, I've talked about it before. Fox News has had debates about IDH verification where the majority of people on Fox News were actually agreeing with it. All these boomers that don't know anything about the internet and technology, or in fact, something more sinister, they actually do know about it and they are actually in favor of the collection of biometric data of everybody around the world. They were essentially promoting IDH verification, talk about how it's a good thing, right? And I would play clips from this again, but they actually tried to take down this video because I used a short clip from Fox News. But anyways, they were having this debate and they were all in support of it, except for this guy over here. This guy was the only one with a brain who was like, hey, I just feel kind of uncomfortable about this because it just seems like mass surveillance. And it was basically like, hey, to keep kids on the internet, we're going to make it so everybody has to submit their ID. It just seems a little weird. Like I said, he was the only one on this panel with any type of common sense whatsoever. And again, we're just in a scary place right now, in a scary time. And honestly, we really need to make sure that our opinions are known, and we need to make sure that we can at least try to get all this type of stuff stopped. As I'm sure you guys who've seen the videos know, I've been talking about this website called badinternetbills.com. It is a great website where you can go ahead and actually fight against these invasive ass IDH verification laws all around the world. You can go ahead and click whichever law that you want to combat specifically, and it'll allow you to either call or email your local representatives. Just go ahead and tell them why you disagree with this. Talk about how it's such a major breach in privacy. And speaking of breaches, a lot of these IDH verification laws that are being implemented are being involved in having all these breaches as well, where people's information are getting leaked. And once your information is out there, it's too late. So yeah, badinternetbills.com. Let's go ahead and try to work together and fight this. I mean, this is crazy. Mexico wants to scan people's eyeballs. I mean, it doesn't matter how many times I say that, it just doesn't sound real. But yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the situation in the comments. The world is just going crazy right now, man. Please leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. See ya.